Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Oneiric Tales. So this is pretty much our first video, right, for this game, and this video is pretty much gonna be your all-in-one guide for you guys to understand the game and kickstart this brand new game if you guys are interested. Right, so a lot of people has been asking me to make this video because they want to play this game but they are unable to download, either unable to download or don't understand a single thing because this game is in Chinese. Right, so not that my Chinese is good, it's just that I've actually find a way to understand the game, right, through my fellow players from TOS and Chronos Gate that is playing this game together with me. Alright, so first and foremost, let's get to the first point, downloading the game. So most of you guys are pretty much stuck at this point of time, right, to download, because this game is pretty much based in Hong Kong App Store or Taiwan App Store. So first thing you have to do is like make a Google Play account or a new Apple account, right, that you have to set the country to Hong Kong or Taiwan in order to access the game. Right, so for myself, I have this Hong Kong iTunes account that I make for myself, and this is pretty much how I download the game. So you can see, you go to Oneiric Tales, or in Chinese, yeah, there you have it. Alright, so very simple, it's free, right? Just make an account, set it to Hong Kong or Taiwan, and then you'll get the game. So with that done, let's get into the game. So we're back here. This is pretty much the main page of Oneiric Tales, right? So this will be pretty much the mascot of the game. So let's get into it. So once you enter this the game, this will pretty much be your main page, right, the home page of the entire game. So you can see here, this is pretty much the layout. You can see on the top you have your username, and then you have AP, TP. These two are two different currencies, right? So let me go through a bit of the main screen before I go in depth to certain parts of the navigations. Right, so you can see your in-game name, right, AP, TP, both are two different energy currencies. Right, so you can see you have your money as well as your diamonds on top. You can see I have 50k money, coins, and 650 diamonds. Right, it might look a lot, but trust me, you finish up pretty fast. Right, so you can see on the top left hand corner, I am at 1 tier. Right, that's the that's the highest tier that you can go as of now. Right, but I'll explain that later in details. So you can see on top you have 4 buttons. One is just the bell, which is gonna go, when you click it, it's gonna be your announcement page, right? Those of you playing TOS, you'll be very familiar with it. Right, so events and stuff like that is gonna appear here. And then next, second one is the diamond store. Right, this is your quick button to diamond store whatever that you want to purchase. Right, you'll be all here. Okay, next up we have the inbox or message icon here. This will be pretty much your extra rewards that they give you, be it compensation or stamina refill for free. You'll find it here, right? So basically a reward box to claim and stuff like that, right? So the last button is pretty much self-explanatory. It's a settings for to adjust your volume, your sensitivity and stuff like that. Alright, so below 1 tier you can see something like a backpack, right? Doge, if I'm reading that correctly. Alright, so these are pretty much your items that you pretty much use to build or farm your card. Right, so I'm going to go through that in depth at the last part of the video because that is the one that you have to understand the most. Right, so I'm going to go through in very detailed steps at the back part of this video. So as of now, this is all you need to know. Right, so let's take a look at the items here. Right, we have the milk bottle. You can see that if you can't read the description, it's pretty much every turn you're gonna regain 5%. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna explain this item part at the back because you know it kind of flow. Okay, so you can see at the bottom you have 6. 6 icons, right? I'm currently at the first, which is pretty much the main page as I mentioned earlier. Right, second, we're just going to go through second all the way to the 6th button, and then we're going to come back to the main one because this is the most important part of the game. Right, so second part, we have inventory. This is your inventory, and you can see under inventory you have 3 buttons to select from as after that. Right, so under inventory you can see the first one is pretty much your mentor team. Alright, what's a mentor team? So in this game you pretty much have all these mentors are the cards that you have in your inventory. Alright, and then this team is not going to be the team that you're going to send into battle. Right, these are the team, these cards are members that act as a mentor to train one card. Alright, so this might seem confusing, right? But just keep that in mind. These are a mentor, a team of mentors, right? They're gonna be teaching you their skills and pass you their stats and stuff like that, right? So of course you can see there are levels as well, and rarity, SR, super rare, and then you can see here level max. So in Oneiric Tales, the maximum level is level 10, right? How are you gonna level up? I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. Okay, so you can see here, let's make one card for example. So you can see at the bottom here, right, all this list of Chinese words is pretty much the skills that this team of mentors can provide you, right? So you can see this goat card here, right? Let's not care about the name for now. When you go to this bottom right button here, you can see that these are the 5 skills that this card can actually teach this one card. Alright, so golden skill means that these are their specialized skill, right? And then these grey skills are pretty much the normal skills that you inherit, right? Gold skill is more valuable and the cost is higher, right? I'm going to go in depth as usual at the end of the video. Alright, so other than that, we have on top right, bottom right, top right here is the card's active skill, right? We do have active skill in this game, right? So it depends on what card. There is a sniping skill, there is some kind of buff skill, booster skills and stuff like that, right? So as of now, let's take a look at this card. Basically what this card does is 1 time of 3 times of its attack, like attribute skill. So it's a sniping skill based on its attack, 3 times of its attack. Okay, so you can see when you come out, you have one whole list of skills because these are all the skills by these 5 cards here. Alright, so we are done with the first part here. So second button will be your entire inventory. So these are the cards that you actually have, right? That you have summoned, that you have accumulated over time. So this is pretty much my inventory, right? So I actually sort it according to index. So this is like pretty much the first card in the game, and then all the way down is the last card, right? So I mentioned SR just now. SR stands for super rare. So there are four tiers of card rarity in this game, right? Normal, which stands for N, R is rare, SR super rare, UR ultra rare, right? So these are the 4 rarities in this game. So one thing that you have to take note of is that let's say you summon a N card, alright? When you max level an N card, can you evolve it to a R? No, you can't, right? They are totally separate cards. So you can see here I have an N rank card here, right? And then it's at max level 10 out of 10, right? And then I have an R version of this card as well, which is level 3 out of 10, right? They are separate cards and they are not linked to each other at all. So don't be happy saying that, oh, I got a rare of I have a rarity of this super rare card, right? Can I max level it and then evolve it? No, I'm sorry, you have to summon it. Alright, so you can see based on all these tiny numbers below the thumbnail of the card, right? What are they? Right, so basically you can see this R card here, right? This R card below is actually 0/2. So what does it mean? So it means that you need to summon 2 of these units, extra units, right? And then you feed it in order to gain 1 level. So you can see the card on the left, on the right, sorry, right, which is 1 out of 3. So let's say if I can collect 2 more of this, I can up 1 level of this particular card. So you can see N rank requires 3 duplicates to level up 1 time. R requires 2. SR requires 1. UR requires 1 as well. Alright, so it depends whether it's a it's a series card, whether it's a summon card. Alright, summon card SR requires 1 to level up. Event based bi-weekly battles and stuff like that require 2 units to level up. Okay, so with that we are done. That is pretty much the inventory part. So the third button, you can see we are back at the same page again. So you can see here is where you actually press to view what card you want to purchase. You can purchase cards, right? So you can see here, second button here is to sell, right? You can see here I actually have 1 out of 3. You can actually sell it if you do not want the card, right? So you can sell it for scrolls. You can see at the bottom, selling it gives you 10 scroll, 10. There's 20 because I have 2 out of 3. I can sell 2 of them. Alright, so you can sell, and then you can obtain scrolls. So scrolls, what do scrolls do? Alright, you can see on the top, my money currency has been replaced by scrolls. So scrolls are used to purchase units that you actually want. Right, so other than summoning, you can actually purchase the units. Right, so purchasing, this is to sell. Right, the third button here is to purchase. So to purchase, you can simply just click on the card, right? Purchase, how many do you want, right? So of course, the rarer the card, the more expensive, the more amount of scrolls you need, right? So one thing to note is that you can only buy rarity up to SR, super rare, right? You cannot buy ultra rare cards. You can only level up ultra rare cards by feeding the duplicates that you have summoned, right? You cannot buy UR units. Alright, so let me just scroll down and show you. Right, you can see all the UR units are pretty much being blanked out. You cannot purchase them at all. Alright, so having said that, let's just go through N rank. Right, so N rank you can see requires 20 scroll to purchase. R requires 100, and then SR is 1300. So it seems like a lot, right? It is a lot, right? So this is pretty much the investment needed to purchase a card and max it out. Okay, so that's pretty much the inventory icon, right? This is going to be a very long video, right? But it's going to be worth it if you sit through an entire thing and understand the entire game. Okay, so with this, we're going to move on to the next icon, which is this shopping cart icon, which is pretty much the shop. Right, so you can see here a bunch of buttons for you to press. So on the top pretty much is your AP stamina restore, TP stamina restore. Very simple, right? Then we have the diamond store as well, and then we have backpack increase, backpack expansion. Right, so this small little icon here, which is the shop, the one with the coin, right, allows you to purchase whatever items that you saw earlier on in this video. Right, they'll be essential for you to create a top-notch card. Right, so I'm gonna explain that later. So in this shop, you can pretty much summon your units. Right, so you can see we have let's scroll down here. Alright, so these are the events that is going on. Whatever you can see there's a 10抽, which is 10 draw, and it costs 250 diamonds, right? So which is why I say that 650 is not a lot, because you use up pretty fast, right? One draw is 25 diamonds, not 5 but 25, right? So there's a kind of inflation here. So you can see oh, this is new, right? Yeah, so you can see there is two page as well. So the first page is pretty much the event that is going on, right? This 10抽thing is one event that I have not seen, right? It's a new day, right? So this event just started. And second page, you can see that we do have a 免费抽, which is a free draw every day, right? Yes, you get a free draw every day, but don't expect too much from this free draw, right? And then this is pretty much all the tickets that you can get during the event, right? Exclusive series, summon tickets, SR tickets, which means that within this draw is bound to be one super rare card, right? UR tickets, same thing, right? It's just that you definitely get a UR tier card. This is the free draw I'm talking about, right? So you get one free draw every day. So that's pretty much it. So let's move to the next one, which is the goat head one, right? This one is where all your train card comes in, right? So some people will be confused by this page, right? Extremely confused by this page because let's say that you have played this game for quite a while, right? Let's say 2 days, you have summoned plenty of cards, right? But you cannot use these cards to battle, right? Because all of them will be in your inventory. So this is your battle setup or your team setup page, right? So you can see here, these are all my train cards, alright, that I got from the first page. So all these train cards will be allowed, you'll be allowed to use them for battles, for like the bi-weekly battles and stuff like that, right? So the first icon is for you to set up your team, right? Like left button is for you to reset the team. Of course, I'm not going to do that. And then right one is to select it manually. Okay, so that's it for the first button, right? Second button is for you to view all the cards that you have trained, right? So currently this is it. This is actually a lot to be honest, right? And then basically this is for you to view the cards that you have actually trained. That's all, right? So third one is to sell, right? So usually those cards that you have trained, those old cards, you can pretty much sell them away to make space. So you can see at the bottom right is 35 out of 40. There's a limit to how many train cards you can store, right? So sell them if you find that they are not really working out in whatever battles that you're using, right? So that's pretty much it. This is your battle setup page, right? You guys will pretty much understand more once I go through the final part of this video. Okay, next, this is where all your bi-weekly battle events are gonna be held, right? So these are all events for you to play, right? Like this one is events, these are events, and yeah, pretty much events. So once you enter, you can see that these are just a bunch of events that you can actually attempt and clear, right? Like this is a bi-weekly battle. So when you enter it, you can see that on top 8 star, right? At my tier, which is 1 tier, the highest difficulty you can go is 8 star. And then below you can see you can adjust the difficulty that you want to attempt, right? Just refresh the page, which is next bottom right. You can refresh the page for your various difficulty levels. Alright, so these are your events. Once you form your team, you can attempt whatever event there is and then collect cards. So it's pretty much the same as TOS. Alright, so with that, we'll just move on to the last and final button, which is guild. Right, so the guild has been around for a long time, since the launch, I think, of Oneiric Tales. Right, so basically this is the page that you will see once you have enrolled into a guild. So if you have not, they will prompt you whether you want to join a guild, randomly join a guild, or you have a guild ID for you to key in and then you request to join a guild. And so once you have this guild, you can see this is pretty much the page. So you can see this number 3 icon here, This is pretty much stamina refill for your teammates, right? So not really stamina refill for like the AP and TP that I talked about, stamina refill for your free draw, right? So yes, I told you that every day you do get a free draw, right? So after that, if you want another free draw, you will need people to support you by pressing this button, right? So but you can see various players here. You can see 7 out of 36, 10 out of 36, 22 out of 36. What does this mean, right? So when you hit, let's put it as when 36 different players have supported you, you get a free draw. Right, so pressing this button is gonna support all of them. Right, so hopefully they get their free draw soon. Right, so and also by supporting them, this is where you get your free draw as well. Right, so there's a lot of free draw going on. So you can see this ship icon here that is flashing with a red exclamation mark, which we do not have that just now. Right, so let me go through this part here. So this is pretty much your daily mission, right? Something like your TOS daily guild mission. Right, so you can see here, help a team member to get their free draw. In turn, you have a free draw as well. Right, so let's go through the rest of the daily mission. So this is something that you can do every day. Okay, as I mentioned, daily mission. So the one with the question mark cube, you have to create a card in order to get that reward. For the energy booster AP, the flask with the energy sign on it, play 3 battles and you get a free stamina refill. Buy a card, as I mentioned earlier, purchase a card using scrolls, and then you get 20 scroll in advance as a reward. Right, usually you just buy a N rank card because it's the cheapest, right? And then you get a 20 scrolls. Buy an N rank card, you get for 10 scrolls, and then you get 20. Right, it's a win. And then last but not least, do a 12 combo in a battle, and then you get 20 coins. And once you complete all of this, you get 5 diamonds. Right, that's your daily mission. Okay, so pretty much that's all. Right, so I did claim my free draw, so I'm going to show you guys how this summoning mechanic works. Right, so let's go back to the shop, second page, all the way down as where I show you guys just now, free draw, and we're just going to click on that. Right, so as I mentioned just now, you need 25 diamond to do an actual draw. Right, so why is it 25 diamonds? Right, in TOS, 5 diamond for 1 draw, right? So it's pretty much the same, because when you use 25 diamond for 1 draw, you actually get 5 units of cards. Right, when you tap open the book, you can see 5. You actually get 5 cards. Right, so pretty much 5 diamond for 1 card here. So you can see free draw, you don't really get a lot of good stuff. Right, it's really very lucky if you get an SR or even a UR. Right, I did get a UR from a free draw before. Right, it's not impossible, it's just super rare. Okay, so with this is pretty much the free draw, nothing much to go through about. Okay, so we are back at the main page. Alright, so this is pretty much the key or the core part of this entire game, creating your personal card. So you can see here, you can navigate around. Right, we have 2 pages here. This one is your default story mode, or your default TP. We usually call it your default TP. This is your event TP. You can see what's the difference is because this one have an end date. This one doesn't have an end date. It will be here forever. Right, you can see this 校园 something something. Alright, there's an end date on top, 6th of June. June 11. Alright, 2359. Okay, so we're just going to do that one to show you guys. So you tap on this, and then of course press the first one, the top button, which is start. The below one is to return. Right, so basically you can choose your character to be a guy or a girl. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, it's just for design purposes. Right, so I'll just choose the guy. Alright, so name does not matter. Right, but then this is going to be the name of the card that you're going to create. So let's say if you're going to create a sniper, to make things easier at your inventory, right? So maybe you just call this guy sniper, because it's going to have a sniping active skill, for example. Right, so this is pretty much to categorize or to choose your cards easily, because you can differentiate, oh, this card is a sniper, or this card is a tank, or this card is a super offense card, or example. Right, so with that, let's go 下一步. Alright, next. And then as I mentioned earlier, the very first part of this video, choose your team of mentors. Right, so you can see here, these are like the mentors, the teams that you can choose from. So obviously I'm going to choose the first page, the one that I show you guys, which is all max level. Alright, so one thing that I didn't mention in front is the higher your level, the more stats it gives. Right, so and the more bonus it gives. So of course you want a max level, as high level as possible to play this particular TP quest here. Right, so let's get into battle, and then you can see here, these are all the items that I show you guys at the front. So here, I'm going to go through everything detail by detail. I know some of you guys will forgot what all these item means, right? So you can anytime just come back to this point, and then to refresh, or pretty much just write down what each item is used for. Right, so the milk bottle here actually recovers 5% of your stamina every round, every story, or every round. Right, I'll explain that a bit later into the TP quest. Right, this little door here is to prevent you from getting any illness or sickness throughout the quest. Right, it's going to protect you once. Heart pendant. Right, heart pendant gives you 30% more affection. Yeah, that's affection. Okay, so the armor reduces the quest risk by 5%. Right, there's a risk percentage risk for every time you attempt a story. So the clover gives you a 15% chance of more members or more mentors appearing in that particular story. Right, so all this might sound confusing, but you'll clear up once I enter this TP quest to show you guys. Right, so this potion here gives you 10% discount of whatever skills that the mentor have provided you, and then this dice will be a random effect from all of those that I've mentioned just now. Right, so basically I'm just gonna, the usual item that people go for will be the milk bottle as well as the clover. So I'm just going to use that to show you guys. Okay, so this is pretty much the intro of this TP quest. So okay, blah blah blah. Let's get into it. So you can see 1/3. So there is 3 chapters of this entire TP quest. Right, so top left hand corner you can see round 1 out of 15. So one chapter have 15 rounds for you to rack up as much stats as possible. So you can see on top there's a 90, 100%, which is your stamina at 100%. And then moving down you can see your HP, your attack, as well as your speed. Right, you are always capped at, you're always going to start at HP 500, 100 attack and 100 speed. Right, and then you can see the plus 60, plus 23, these are the stats that you're going to gain in this first story. Right, so you can see on this right button here, this is your character. Right, so you can see you can actually change the attribute of your character. So you can see, if you realize, my team of mentors is this one goat character, which is light attribute, and then the rest is all water. Right, so which is why here you can see light attribute and then water, and then what's the difference is you're actually going to use their active skill in this particular TP quest. Right, then the bottom here, which is only have one skill available now, which is 解放强化, right, which is going to cost you 10 points if you want to activate it. Alright, you can activate and deactivate at any time in this throughout this TP quest. Right, and then you can see I have 80 points for me to spare now. Right, so we're not going to touch that yet. Right, the button on the left, it will show you the effects that you have. Right, this left one is pretty much the milk bottle effect, and then this is the clover effect. So all is good. So you can see here at the bottom, this blue color booklet or book, this is the story that we can do for chapter 1, round 1 out of 15. Right, and then you can see on top are the mentors that is involved in this story. Right, and then you can see an arrow up, meaning that they are gonna get extra affection points because they are the same attribute as the book, the story book. Alright, and then on top you can see 可能获得, which is the skills that you might get by doing this story, right, which is only one. And then we're just going to go ahead and do it. So you can see, by doing this story, you're going to increase your HP by 60, and you're going to increase your attack by 23. So this is how you're going to kickstart this entire TP quest, right? So blah blah blah, you can actually press this button here to speed up the entire thing, and then at the end, you can see get the amount of stats that you saw just now, plus that one skill that you might get, right? So after that, your path will broaden, right? So instead of one storybook, you can see there's pretty much 4 now, and then this one zigzag storybook, which means that you go and rest without gaining any stats, and then you recover your stamina, right? So by attempting, other than the first round, every storybook is gonna consume a different amount of stamina. Alright, so you can see here, of course, I'm gonna go for this light storybook, and then you can see this is gonna add 261 HP and 11 attack. Right, so this is gonna go on all the way until round 15. Right, and then you can see here the goat having an arrow up, meaning that it's gonna get bonus affection points. Right, so why I keep emphasizing on bonus affection points is because that you can see these two mentors at the side, which is water attribute, does not have an arrow up, but they are still going to get affection points, but just not as much as the one on the left, because same attribute as the storybook. Right, so we'll just go through here. So we're going to go through this entire story. You can read if you want, and then you can see it actually deducts 15% stamina. Right, so usually some story actually give you conversation choices, right? So based on the choices that you make, you can actually consume lesser stamina or get different skills, right? So you can see some stories actually offer more than one skills, right? So those are usually conversation based choices that you have to make, right? Different choices will give you different skills as well, right? But the stats that you obtain from this story is fixed. Right, so you can see here, let's take this story for example, 121 HP, 38 attack, and 6 speed. Right, we're gonna do that, and then you can see three possible skills, right, and then choices here. So by selecting one, you get one of those skills listed there. Right, so I'm not gonna go through the entire 3 chapters because it's gonna be a very long video. Right, I'm gonna skip, and then I'm going to come back to the more important point. Alright, so I'm back. So you can see here, currently I'm at chapter 1, round 9 out of 15. Right, so you'll notice something different is that the arrow is now in red. Right, so every time it's in red means that you're going to enter a story in which you have to actually do a battle. Right, so here we're just going to pump our skills. So from round 1 to 9, this is the skills that I've accumulated. Right, so for skills wise, I can't really help you because there is a ton of skills, and then it's going to be hard to explain all of them. Right, so as you go through all the stories, you actually get more points. So I start off with 80 points, right? So now I have 154 for me to spend. So I'm going to spend on those important skills that I find that will be useful for me to clear this entire TP battle. Right, so by entering, you can see there will be you'll trigger a battle. Right, so this is pretty much the official battle I'm going to show you guys. Right, so for TP battle, usually evolve your character and pretty much maybe one of the TP quest characters, right, in which now you can see player 1, player 2. So it's a puzzle bobble kind of playstyle, right? You pull and you aim to attack. So you can see the enemy HP bar is where your stamina bar is previously, right? And then the bottom bar below the enemy HP is the her mana bar. So you can see it's pretty much the same on our side, which is our HP bar in yellow and our mana bar in blue, which is pretty much the same thing. Right, so one thing I did not mention is the attribute relation in this game. Right, so you can see pretty much in TOS you can see light light counters dark, dark counters light, right? But the enemy does not have the same attribute advantage as you in TOS, right? But in this game, there is, right? So you can see this enemy is actually dark attribute, and then he will actually hit me with a ×2 damage because I am light attribute, right? So this is something that you need to take note of. So you can see I actually equip myself with a sniping active skill, and then with that, I hope I can take her down in this one turn. Right, so by dissolving Jades on the board, right, it doesn't have to be your attribute, right? It'll be better if it's your attribute because it charges your MP bar more quickly, right? Of course, the more damage, the more combo, the more damage you do. Okay, so with that, pretty much is all. And then we're going to continue with the TP quest. Alright guys, I'm back. So currently I'm at chapter 2, round 2 out of 15. Right, so I found out that I kind of missed out a few points, right, when I explained the front part. Right, so you can see on the blue arrow here, you can see a 受伤 percentage, right, which is a risk percentage of 14% now. This means that you have a 14% chance of failing this story because of your stamina, right? Because your stamina is too low, you get hurt and you can't complete the story, right? So basically, you fail to get whatever stats that you have for this particular story. So do keep a lookout on the risk percentage of the story, right? Usually when your stamina goes below 50% or at 50%, I advise you guys to rest up. Right, so you can see this rest book doesn't have any stats, right? So just nice, you can see my affection bar is pretty much all red and almost max. Right, so you can see at this particular story, you can actually get one of your mentors to be your soulmate. Right, so let's go for this one. Right, so by selecting the correct choice, it will become your soulmate. Right, how you know it become your soulmate is you can see this pink little words at the bottom when you get your stats. Right, so having that soulmate thing will turn your rest book into this love book. Right, so instead of resting, you go out on a date, and on top of resting, you get stats as well. Right, so of course now I'm not gonna rest because my stamina is at 80%. Right, so with that, I'm just gonna continue the story and get into another battle, and then I'll explain more on the battle mechanics. Alright, so now we are attempting another battle here. So I did explain more on the general layout of a battle setup just now, right? The HP, the mana bar. So one thing that I didn't explain is the speed, right? In this TP quest, we have a HP and attack, which is self-explanatory, and then we have speed. So where does speed stats come from? What does it do? Right, so you can see this bar at the left side, which is you can see 1p right at the top, followed by the enemy, and then 2p. Right, so this is the speed meter of the entire battle. Right, so the faster the speed of your character, the more the shorter distance is travel. So meaning the faster your speed, the more chance you can attack before the enemy attacks. Right, so here you can see we do have special jades on the board. Right, you can see this little arrow jade there, which is pretty much called a special jade. Right, you can see we have another one that spawned just now, which is we have this crisscross one. We call it a net, right? Net. So by hitting it actually gives you a boost, right? For the arrow, it gives you additional speed, right? And then the net one actually just breaks and capture whatever jade that is around it. And there is one more that haven't spawned. Well, obviously the hard jade will be your recovery jade when your HP is low. Right, so you can see here I'm going for the snipe active skill once again. Right, let's see whether we can spawn a scatter jade here. Right, we have 3 kind of special jade. One which is what you saw just now. Alright, one of my character just died. So there is 3 special jade in this game. Oh, I killed it. It's okay, I'll show you in another battle. Right, one which is the arrow that you saw just now, that actually increase your projectile speed, and then the net which actually spreads out and catch the jade around it. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna enter another battle to show you guys. Alright, so now we are about to enter another battle. Right, so depends on what kind of TP quest you're doing, you are you have plenty of battles to fight. Right, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but my character is now water attribute. Right, so in between you can actually swap different attributes to fight different stories, because as you play, you know that what attribute character is coming out, and you can change in order to counter it. So I know that I'm fighting this fire guy here, so I swap to water. Right, so of course by doing that, oh, that's the scatter jade that you saw just now. Right, so of course changing the water attribute means that I do have a different active skill now. Right, so let's show you a bit of my active skill. So now I do have a reflect. You can see I do have a reflect buff there. Right, if it hits me, or it didn't hit me. Right, so this spear with a down arrow is actually the debuff that the enemy gives us. Right, in which our projectile is gonna have a decrease in length. Right, so my active skill now is actually to increase my speed for a certain amount of time. Right, so I can attack more frequently. So I don't think that's necessary because I will pretty much kill it now. Yeah. Right, so this, you have actually witnessed all the special jades in action, which is the projectile, increase in projectile speed, the web or the net, and then the scatter shot. Right, so with that, continue my TP quest. Alright, so at this last part of this TP quest, I'm just going to show you the final part all at once without any cut. Alright, so we are now at the last two battles, right? Chapter 3, 14 out of 15. So you can see, as I mentioned earlier, we have a love booklet now because we do have soulmates. Right, so let's do that, right? Because I haven't shown you guys. So you can have multiple soulmates, right? Don't judge me. Okay, so now I have a list of characters that have actually become soulmates with me. I can choose which one I want to go out with. So let's say I'll go out with this one. So I can't really show you guys my stamina being recovered, right? So by going out on a date, you actually recover your stamina as well as gain some stats. So let's say I'm going to choose the first one. Right, I'm going to get some stats and then moving on. So 15 out of 15 is whereby usually you have a final battle, right? So you can see now my stats are beefy, 5.6k HP, which is pretty much average, right? 1.1k attack is a lot, right? 425 speed. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna select. This is where the time where you have to select all the skills that you pretty much need for the final boss. Alright, so let's take a look here. We have this, we have this. Right, so you can see we have golden skills now. Right, we have a damage reflect. Right, that is something that I always like to use. Right, then with that, let's get into battle. So I'm going to show you guys the full battle without any cut here. So I did explain a few battles in front, so here I'm just gonna play it through and then let you guys have a good feel of how Oneiric tail battle is like. Okay, so oh my gosh, my hair is like so messy. And my phone is pretty much overheating, so you can witness some sort of lag. Alright, so you can see damage reflect is gonna reflect some damage back at her every time she launches an attack at me. My partner's dead, doesn't matter. She's gonna attack again because her speed is pretty much very fast. Okay, so with that, it's our turn. I'm gonna snipe her with a bit of my active skill, and then I'm gonna recover my HP. Okay, so damage reflect is gonna hit her back in the face again, and with that you can see her amount of HP. We are just gonna finish her off. Alright, so basically that's it for the TP for this one that I've selected. Right, battle round 15 out of 15 of the last chapter. Alright, so you can see there's a cutscene, and then we'll have our rewards and stats. Right, so whenever you reach maximum affection for one character, you do get bonus stats at the back, which is what's happening now. You have a conversation with whoever that become your soulmate and then have reached maximum affection. right, which is a full affection bar as you see earlier. Right, and then with that they're going to give you more stats. Okay, and then we're just going to skip all this. We're just going to skip all this as fast as possible, and then with that, done. Right, so this is pretty much the summary screen of your TP quest. So you can see here your name, Sniper. You can still change it if you don't want that name. Right, so final HP 6.6k, 1.2 attack, 476 speed. Right, so by clicking the right button here, you can still fill in whatever skills that you want. Right, I will want this golden skill. Let's say we don't really have much stuff. Right, so I will want at this point of time you have to select which mentor's active skill you want. Right, of course you can't change the attribute of it. So let's say I want this light attribute card, and I want to have this active skill, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Right, so bottom you can see this red button, which is go back. The center one is auto assign skills, and then the right one is confirm. Right, so I have like left out some extra points. I'm just going to auto assign and then press confirm. Right, so on this left button here is for you to choose your avatar. Right, so this avatar is from the list of cards that you have summoned. Right, it doesn't matter what card you want it to be because this is just cosmetics. Right, so for me, let's say I like this cute girl here, so I'm just going to select her. So she's going to be the card that we have made from this 5 mentor that we have selected earlier on. Right, so bottom here is just going to show you her active skill and then the bunch of golden skill and grey skills that you have inherited from these 5 mentors. Right, so by clicking confirm, you are done with the entire TP quest. Right, so completed, and then based on the stats that you have, this is going to show you how good of a card that you have made. Right, so to the max tier 1, right, for the cards, for the stats that you have. Right, and then you can see the name there, Sniper, and then your stats as well as your active skill, and then clicking here is to check on the skills that you have inherited, and then last but not least, what mentors you have used to create this particular card. Right, so with that you can see once again we have a mission that flash red here. So this is the mission, create 1 card. So this is the daily mission that I've completed while teaching you guys this in this video. Right, so once you go back to these train cards here and you view cards, so you can see this new card is the card that you have just created. Alright, so pretty much this is all the basic stuff that you need to know about Oneiric Tales. I know it's a super long video, right? But to be honest, this is all you need to kickstart the entire game. Right, so with this, I'm pretty much going to end this video already. I think I kind of becoming quite wonky throughout this entire walkthrough. Alright, so hopefully you guys get some sort of insight, at least get a hang out of this game and how to download. Alright, play through the game. Right, any question you can just send me a PM through my gaming page, and then I'll try to assist you to the best of my abilities. Right, so with this, leave a like if you enjoy this walkthrough guide. Share it with your friends if your friends are keen in playing this game. Right, so with this, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.